My God, the New York Times talks about Elden Ring. Clearly, this is going to be a masterpiece. I mean, when I think about gamers, I think about the New York Times. In Elden Ring, the struggle feels real. Alright, DSP. The video game evokes the hardship and disappointment of the pandemic. Isn't that right? I mean, when you play Elden Ring and you start maidenless, you think, goddamn pandemic, why is this a thing? Why does the World Health Organization not give me a maiden so I don't be maidenless? You know, I noticed that a lot of progressives, they mix fantasy and pop culture with real world events constantly. I mean, this is happening on Twitter with every single blue check mark. I think it's because these people literally do not get out of their homes, and the only way they can experience the world is through Marvel movies and Harry Potter and World War II references. Okay. In the last 2 years, the pandemic has brought us many works of art that have tried definitely to capture humanity's struggle. I would say that it's not the case. I mean, I remember during the height of the mandates here, you would go on the street and you'd see a lot of women looking like Melina and Kitana and the rest of the Mortal Kombat cast. But when you looked at movies, none of them actually captured the pandemic at all. I can't remember even a video game that has characters wearing masks. I don't know any movie that even relates to like, oh, well, there's a lockdown, so unless you're doing essential travel, you're not allowed to leave your house. Like, if anything, Hollywood went on as normal. The television went on as normal. So what on earth is this guy writing about? There was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio turning pink as he shouts at the top of his lungs for people to look up at the comet hurling towards Earth. Yeah, I don't really like watching Leonardo DiCaprio's movies. I like watching Leonardo DiCaprio himself, who sits on a multi-million-dollar yacht in a pleasure cruise while lecturing you about how you need to cut your travel in order to protect Mother Gaia from the planet. But anyway, we are divided, likely doomed. Yeah, who's doing the division, New York Times? Who is doing the division? I'm really curious, because it's very interesting. When you go out, people don't seem as divided as when you read the media and it tells you just how divided people really are. No medium has come as close to perfectly encapsulating our situation as video games. In the beginning, when many of us were in lockdown and baking mediocre sardo, we played Animal Crossing. Hello, fellow kids. How you doing? Oh, did you play Animal Crossing? I played Animal Crossing as well. Isn't Animal Crossing the shit? Here at New York Times, we play Animal Crossing nonstop. You know, like most people during the pandemic, they were worried about putting food on the table and they were worried about finding a job. But okay, I'm glad that the people from the New York Times were playing video games, especially Animal Crossing. I mean, wow, that is so good. That is so shikushi. This year we are playing Elden Ring. And who is we? We, this constant we that keeps popping up. It's like we are doing. Are you not a person? Can you not say, I, Brian X Chen, am playing Elden Ring? Would it kill you if you separate yourself from the fucking collective for a second? Honest to God, every time I read the New York Times and CNN, it's we this, we that, we. I never elected these people to speak on my behalf. When did we elect them? God, it's triggering me. We. Elden Ring has a story that has something to do with the ring. I don't even think that's accurate. I don't think it's an actual ring. I think it's an artifact that is called the Elden Ring, but I don't know, like, is it actually a ring that you can put on the finger? It's kind of hard to tell because the story from Elden Ring is difficult to pry from the author. But, like, I always got the impression that the Elden Ring was, like, this powerful artifact given by an elder god. And it's called the Elden Ring, but it's not, like, de facto a ring. I mean, we're writing for the New York Times. This is how they write about video games? Imagine how they write about politics. Elden Ring has a story that has something to do with the ring. But more important, it is its design. In an open world game, meaning you can do whatever, whenever you want. Well, that's not actually true. Like, you can't get into the capital until you kill a couple of bosses. You can't get past Marvin until you kill him. Whatever. Fine. Players will ride a horse through a poison swamp. Man, this reminds me like when I was in 5th grade and the teacher would ask you to write an essay about something. And you couldn't like be arsed and you would write like the most vague stuff. It's like, what is Elden Ring? Well, it's a story about the ring and you can do whatever you want. And you ride the horse and there's the swamp. And you sprint across molten lava. Oh my god, this is peak New York Times journalism, isn't it? There is a problem with journalism, by the way. Like, the reason people are this critical is because they know about the video games. So they actually play the game. And they're able to criticize what Brian X. Jenna is writing. But when Brian X. Chen is writing about foreign politics or economy or something where you're not familiar with, for some reason, all of a sudden he gets credibility. Why? Because he writes in the New York Times. Like when he writes about video games, everyone laughs and mocks because we understand video games. But then he automatically regains credibility when he writes about something that you don't know. Isn't that interesting? No matter what you choose to do, you'll probably die again and again. Trying something, and sometimes it can go on for hours. That's because of the slightest mining of button press will make you fall to your death or open to an attack. Even the most experienced gamers will die dozens of times. None of this makes Elden Ring sound like a crowd pleaser, but the video game, a collaboration between the creatives of author George R.R., Game of Thrones, and Hideki Miyazaki, my bad, I know, people are already raging at my comment section, is on track on becoming the bestseller of the year with 12 million copies sold. Oh my god, how is it doing that without diversity, inclusion, and equity? How are they doing it? I mean, Blizzard just hired the diversity officer to be in charge of their storytelling. How is From Software doing it? At some point in the game, you face a dragon. You have a choice to fight or flee. At first, you'll probably retreat. And then you're going to attack him again, and moments later you'll be ambushed and killed by something nasty. It's difficult to imagine Elden Ring, this sort of cultural cash-it, in any other era. What the fuck is he talking about? In year 3 of the pandemic, as vaccination rates have... What the fuck? We're talking about Elden Ring. What vaccination? What? Are you insane? What? Look at the batshit crazy. Like, up until now, it was a ridiculous article. All of a sudden, oh, vaccines and the real world. And this would have never been popular if it was released 3 years previously. How can you connect Elden Ring to the past? How? Like, is this why you're a New York Times journalist? Because you can make this mental gymnastics? Like, look, to many Americans, the dragon has been slain. Like, they're actually teaching you how to live in your pod, play video games, and then they're using the video games in order to try to connect real-life events. It's like the vaccines. It's just like defeating the dragon in Elden Ring. No wonder they care so much about the story and the lore of the video games. Because, like, if you were to have a story like Attack on Titan that talks about how history is with shades of gray and stigmatizing and stereotyping people is wrong, and if you punish people for the sins of their ancestors, you know, sins that they didn't commit, then eventually they might gang up and overthrow the current system. Yeah, like, they probably wouldn't want that. They don't like that type of stories. Because they train people to think about the real world through stories. It's kind of like why they hated the Legacy of the Shield hero. Because you have, like, the female character embody all the negative stereotypes. Like, she's beautiful, she's vain, she manipulates people, she does false rape accusations, and that's why they try to cancel the Legacy of the Shield hero. As some of us let our guard down to have some semblance of normal life, we are branching ourselves for that stupid bird around the corner that might kill us. Yeah. Don't try to have a normal life, reader of the New York Times, because the bird from Elden Ring might kill you. Like, don't think the gas prices are going to go down. Don't think that you might be able to have the same liberty that you used to, because like, right around the corner, didn't Elden Ring teach you? To defeat the boss, you can carefully study its moves and plan an attack, or you can cheese. Either way, it's a win. Yeah, like, how is cheesing in Elden Ring transporting into real life? I guess if you become Jeff Bezos, then you become an essential business and all your competition gets shut down, and that's how you can cheese the game, huh? New York Times, ladies and gentlemen. Prestigious publication. Thank you, America. Thank you. I'm hardly curious about what other video games they're going to talk about. Animal Crossing. How can we connect that to the pandemic? That would be an interesting article. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.